suppose I want to measure the sentiment of the investors. Okay, whether it's impact or not. What are the factor? Hello, what are the factor?
Interest rate,
income, risk. Okay, income, time, number of years. Okay. Then maturity value. Then trend. Okay, trend, tax relief. So like this. So first thing is that whenever you want to measure something, first you calculate the dependent variable and you calculate the independent variable. Any doubt? Second thing is that second I convert into the equation, that is y is equal to, okay, the beta 0 plus beta 1 x1 plus beta 2 x2 plus beta 3 x3 plus beta n xn. So this is my model I want to estimate. Now जो अभी econometrics वाले क्या करेंगे? They are talk about PRF and HRF. That is called population regression function and sample regression function. Okay, since Praveen, all the students are from economic background or management also?
No, sir. It's a combination of economics, management, commerce.
Okay. So in which I will take the basic. I will start from basic.
Okay, sir.
Now the first thing is that. Okay. First step one. Step one is identify the problem. I already discussed. Problem is I identify the cells. Why the cells is impacted. I have taken some of the variable from A1 to AN. Any doubt? Now question is why you apply regression? Why you apply regression? Anybody? Why you apply regression? Or estimate impact of the independent variable on the cells? Anybody? What are the three basic problems?
Find the cause and effect.
Okay, now tell me, cells is a cause or cells is an effect?
Effect.
These are the cause. So there is no question of finding cause and effect. When you apply regression, already we have assumed that these are the causes, these are the effects.
Yes.
The impact of independent variables on dependent.
We'll find out whether this is a positive impact or negative impact. Clear? If yes, which is the highest impact, which is the lowest impact. Clear? And third one is what strategy I should apply so that this negative impact can be removed and positive impact can be strengthened. Let's start. I will take one example because some students are in non-economic background. I will explain why you start. Suppose now see, this is OX axis, this is OY axis. Clear? This is the year. Age 20, age 21, age 22, age 23, age 24. Clear? And these are the income level. Okay? Income level. Now in 20, I have taken this is the income 5,000 to income little bit 50,000. Clear? I found these are the different. At the age of 20, some are getting 5,000 and some are getting 45,000. At 21, these are the different income level. 22, these are the different income level. 23rd, these are the different income level. At 24, these are the different income level. Is it clear? Hello?
Yes.
So how many customers are 20? How many employees are there? 3, 3, 6. This will be 4 to 6. This will be 5. This will be 5. This will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It means 28 respondent data को मैंने यहाँ पर feed किया. Clear? Any doubt? I calculate the average of this income. 22. I got this is the value. X1 bar. This is income. X2 bar. This is X3 bar. This is X4 bar. And this is that be X5 bar. Example. When I join this, all the mean value of all these things, is it called PRF or SRF? Anybody?
PRF.
SRF.
SRF, sir.
I've not taken sample, I've taken all the population. Na? I've taken
Yes.
all the values of 20, all values of 22, all values of 23. So these are called
Population.
population regression. So it means I have to find out what is the average value of that particular age group. What is the average value of this particular age group? So generally we have to calculate the mean value. Clear? When you join the mean value, you will find out some regression function of the estimate. Now similarly, okay. So first of all, let's start. Model number 1 is I want to determine the sales with the function of, you said P of X, E of Y, then you said the income, you said the brand value, you said the reputation, you said the promotion, advertisement, like this. Now second step is called, okay, you develop the equations. The Y is equal to beta 0 plus beta 1 x1, beta 2 x2, beta 3 x3, beta 4 x4, and beta 5 x5, and beta 6 x6. Now what? Not take the assumption. What about beta 1? Beta 1 is the price of X. Do you think it is greater than 0 or less than 0? Anybody? Before running the model, I want to find out the relationship between price of X and sales. What should be the beta 1? The coefficient of this beta or mean value of this Bx. If price of X increases, sales will
Negative.
So I want this should be less than 0. Clear? Beta 2. If price of Y increases, my sales will increases. Clear? Hello?
Yes, sir.
I want to find out positive. What about the promotion, advertisement?
Positive.
Positive. What about your brand value?
Positive.
What about your promotion expenses?
Positive.
And what about your next number of retailers? Positive. Hello?
Positive.
I've taken another variable is called tax. What about tax? More tax, more sales, this will be negative.
Negative.
So first is research problem. Second, identify the variables. The question is, how you will identify the variable? Anybody? How you choose? How will you identify the variable? Any participant? Any yes? मैंने variable के identify किया. Directly मन में कर दूंगा क्या? Directly all the variables.
Literature.
Theory.
Can I use the PCA?
First, there is three things. There is three things. First, the literature review. You do that. Second,
No, sir.
you go for focus group. Then there is called bibliometric. There is okay, existing literature review, focus group interview, bibliometric study, and meta-analysis. With the best of all the four, I have assumed that some of the literature supported that this is the factology impact on the cells. I have taken the data. Some of the researchers said that this is important cells. Some focus group, some panel experts says that this is impacted. So based upon all the four parameters, I have decided these are the things I have to be.
Sorry,
clear?
Sir, how bibliometric is to identify the.
Okay. What is bibliometric? Anybody want to do the bibliometric? So there is a software called Boysphere and Site Explorer. What happened? I have collected research paper of 20 or 30 research paper on sales analysis. Okay, when I use the software, when I count the number of words, I found there are 5 to 7 words highly emerged from the literature. It means I can use that. These are the variables which is related to important aspects. Clear? Do you know my mathematical concept? Yes or no?
Sir, yes, sir. I have already wrote a paper on bibliometric analysis.
Okay. So in bibliometric analysis, there is a different country-wise analysis,
Yes,
school-wise analysis, what okay, and text-wise. When you apply the text, when you apply the keyword-wise, the keyword-wise you find some of the keywords which is highly emerged. Clear?
Yes, sir.
From that,
Keyword analysis.
the factors is really impact on the Time dependent. Yeah, clear.
Got it, sir. Got it, sir. Thank you, sir.
Any doubt about this? Model specification, model equation, development equation, and about your assumption. Any doubt?
No, sir.
Now the next part is called, when you explain this concept, there are three parts there. One is, you have to, we'll see that model is fit or not. Model is fit or not. Second, model estimation. And third, whether model is significant or not. Significant or not. Or whether model is assumed all the property or not. So there are three criteria. Go for cross section. That is model fitness, model estimation, and model specification. In model fitness, we have to go for three things. First, we calculate R square. I will explain what is that. Then you calculate adjusted R square. Then you go for S value. When you model estimation, we calculate the beta value and t value. There are two types of beta. One is called standardized regression, and it's called unstandardized beta. Unstandardized regression beta, then t value. In model assumption, we check the multicolority, we check the autocorrelation, we check the homogeneity. In how many things? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So 8 or 9, another two I will explain in between. There are 10 parameters we are going to discuss about our cross-section econometrics modeling. Any doubt after this? Yeah?
सर मॉडलिंग के अंदर सेकंड प्रॉपर्टी क्या है? ये वाली
Which one? मॉडल ओके मेरा हैंडराइटिंग बहुत खराब है फिगर पे माउस में करो तो और भी खराब होगा. दिस इज कॉल्ड मॉडल फिट model estimation and model as okay significant. Whether model is significant or not, or whether the assumption of the property, and that is called blue property, that is best linear unbiased estimator, whether satisfied or not. So the three steps generally carried out. First we go for fitness. If everything is okay, then I go for this. If everything is okay, then I go for this. Clear? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hello? Okay. Any question from your side? Any question?
No.
Okay. Let's start. The next one. The first thing is called
So sir,
R square.
we should first check these R square values.
Let me explain everything. No estimation. Okay.
Thank
Now
you.
suppose this is Y and this is X. What is the correlation between Y and X? Y and what is the correlation? Anybody? Any participant? Kindly participate. This is Y independent variable. This is X1 independent variable, and there are two database. I want to know whether they are what is the correlation between Y and X and X1. Hello. Is it 1 or 0 or 0.5 or 0.2? If this is Y, this is X1.
Anything can be said.
Okay. Anything can be. Let me explain another example. This is Y and this is X1.
Okay,
This
sir.
is Y. This is X1. Now, which is the 1, which is the 0, and which is the 0.3? I've given three values 1, 0, and 0.3.
The first one is 0.
First one is 0 because there is no relation. Clear? Second one is 1 because all the variable of Y is related to X1. And third one is called
0.25.
Now, suppose I want to estimate regression model. Can I use this data for model estimation? Yes or no?
Sorry, sir.
Can I use this database X1 and Y for model estimation?
No. No.
Why? Because you know that the X1 is not a cause for Y. Okay? It means X1 is not cause for Y. Is it clear? Can I take this one X1 to Y? Because we know that
Yes,
Y
sir.
is where R square is equal to 1, it means 100% explained हो रहा है. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So there is no net. I know अगर X1 हो रहा है ये 2 होगा, ये 2 होगा तो ये 4 होगा, 3 होगा because I can predict. Okay. the changes of x is exactly the change, 2 times changes of the y. Okay, so again there will be problem of this regression. But yes, I can measure the impact of x1 on y. Clear? Okay, this is explained of y x1. This is unexplained. समझ आ रहा नहीं आ रहा? Let me explain. This is y and this is x1. What happened? These ones of x1, variance of x1, explained by y. Clear? This ones of y variance is not explained by x1. Okay. So it means 7. This is 0.70. This is 0.30. What does it mean? 30% of variance of x1 is explained by y. Is good model or bad model?
Bad model.
इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? जो y का जो वेरिएंस हो रहा है, जो चेंजेस हो रहा है, वो चेंजेस में x1 का इम्पैक्ट है 130%. It means these data are not explained, not captured by y. Or we can say that these are the changes of y1, y not explained by x1. Now I will give two examples. Suppose this is y, this is x1, this is x2, this is x3, this is y, this is x1, this is x2, this is x3, and another is this is y, this is x1, x2, and x3. Okay. Now which is the good model?
Third model is good model.
Third or first? यहाँ पे क्या होगा? These ones of x1, these ones of x2, and these ones of x3 explained and captured by y. It means majority of the y is not explained either x1 or x2 or x3. Clear?
Yes, sir. Clear.
What about this? This much of variance of x1, this much of variance of x2, and this much of variance of x3 are captured by y. But small portion of the y are not captured. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
But here what happened? Majority of y is explained by x1, x2, and x3. Now, if I go for the numerical value, I can say that this is y, this is x1, this is x2, this is x3. This will consider r square is equal to, that is 0.20. What does it mean? Anybody? 20% of variance of independent variable explained by y.
Independent.
Hello. 20% of independent variable explained by y. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
What is unexplained variation?
80%. 80%.
Can you say that it is a good model? Can you
No.
say that? No.
No, sir. Point is that.
Suppose I'll take another example. If this is y, this is x1, this is x2, and this is x3. And I can make, then I can find out r square is equal to 0.86. What does it mean?
86%.
Explained.
This is percentage of variation of y explained by x1 and x2 and x3. So it means only 13% of variation not explained. Clear? Hello?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
If this is y, this is x1, this is x2, this is x3. What is r square?
1.
1, sir.
Very good.
Exactly 1.
This is y, this is x1, this is x2, this is x3. What is r square?
0.
0.
So it means r square lies between 0 to 1. Clear?
Yes.
And to be good model, the first parameter is you check r square should be greater than 0.60. Thumb rule. Means at least 60% of variance explained by the independent variable into the dependent variable. Is it okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Clear.
The second thing is called adjusted r square. What is adjusted r square? Yeah. Hello? Any question? Adjusted r square means
सर अगर बाई चांस सर
Yeah.
एक्सक्यूज मी सर
Yeah.
सर अगर स्क्वायर की वैल्यू 0.6 से कम आती है तो हमें कोई नया मॉडल ढूंढना पड़ेगा, दूसरा मॉडल का?
No. Now see, I will explain. If high R, when I go for properties of the assumption, then I can explain. If it is less than 0.600, what it can do? There is a possibility to improve the model, or there is no possibility? Okay, I will explain. Okay, but to a good model, okay, you should have at least. But in time series, this assumption may not be valid. In time series, R square may be even 0.02 also. Clear? Because your xt it depends upon xt minus 1. Clear? There may be autocorrelation. Okay, I will explain the concept of autocorrelation when that is the case. But here since it is independent of all the observation, so I want to measure the maximum variance should be captured by the clear. Okay, now the second is called adjusted R square. The second is adjusted R square. Now equalization क्या करेंगे? इसको calculation कर दिखाएंगे. मैं भी calculation दिखाऊंगा. But my first thing is that since most of students are different background, I should give the basic thing. Is it clear? समझ आ रहा है या नहीं आ रहा है? Or I can you want? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now what is adjusted R square? Now what happened? Y is equal to f of x1, x2, and x3. There is one question. Asked by an expert. We have not included x4. We have used one and 3 parameter. Why not use x4? If I use x5 or x4, okay, is there any problem? What is your answer? You have taken only 3 variables. Sometimes you have not included some of the variable x4 and x5. Okay? So how can you defend your result? Anybody?
We should not overfit the model.
You should not overfit the model. Very good. How can you say that it is overfitted? Or less fitted or misfitted? How can you say that?
That is why we look at adjusted R square versus R square.
That is the meaning. I'm interested to analyze adjusted R square. But question is, suppose one expert asks you, we use one in 3 variable, why not x4 and x5? Okay. How you defend your result?
We should use parsimonious model.
Say that adjusted R square means if you introduce one variable into the model, what is the percentage of variation maximum can be explained by your model? Clear? If you introduce one variable in your model, what is the maximum percentage the variance model can be explained? Please remember, adjusted R square always be less than R square. Clear? Hello?
Yes,
Adjusted R square always be less than R square. Never be greater than R square, because there is a problem of degree of freedom. Okay, so if R square I am interested to 0.60, adjusted R square should be 0.54. Okay, it means if we introduce any new variable, the model can be explained only 54% of the maximum variance. Clear? That can be possible. Now another rule, let me complete. The difference between adjusted R square and R square should not be more than 0.05. Clear?
So can we make selection variables on this basis R square?
Tell me again.
So I have selected macroeconomic variables and dependent variable is stock market. So can I make selection of macroeconomic variables on this R square basis, or should I go for factor analysis?
First of all, when you apply factor analysis, that is okay. That is the best method, because if you apply factor analysis, automatically you know the factors and all factors are independent. It means there is no multipolarity in the problem and directly you can estimate factor score. Clear? That's very good. Clear? But sometimes, hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Sometimes what happens, suppose you don't know, you do not know factor analysis, and I have taken some of the variables from some literature, and I want to estimate. I have taken 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 variables. Then question is, why not 7 variables, why not 8 variables? Then for that, to answer that question, there is a concept called adjusted R square. Adjusted R square means if you introduce any new variable in your model, what is the maximum percentage variance can be explained? If it is greater than 0.60, need not to require any new variable in your model. Okay? And then please remember, adjusted R square, what is the percentage of variance explained by your model by taking a new additional variable. And second thing is that adjusted R square should be less than R square, always be less, not should be, always less than R square, and the difference should not be more than 0.05. Please remember the three things doing model fitness. Clear?
Thank you, sir.
What is the first one? What is the first one? R square. What is the second one?
Should be less than adjusted R square.
R square. So these two is very important. Most probably, the good journal, they always interested to know adjusted R square. Okay, this should not be less than 0.60, or we at least we expected 0.60. Okay, suppose if I say R square is equal to 0.67, what does it mean? Anybody? If R square is equal to 0.67, how can we interpret the result?
67% variation is explained.
It means 66% of the variation of independent variable explained by y. Clear? What is 0.61 adjusted after 61%? How can we interpret? It means if we introduce a new additional variable, the model can explain the maximum of 61% of the variation, which is greater than 0.60. So model is specified, not over specified. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Can I proceed now?
Yes, sir.
The third input criteria is called F value. Anybody? What is F? Anybody? What is F value? Suppose I have taken y is equal to f of x1, x2, and x3. Clear? Now what is F? Anybody? Any participant kindly discuss. You लग रहा है मैं इकला ही बोल रहा हूँ.
It's a model fit. It's a model fit value.
Okay. Now model fit means if there is a sums rule, if f is greater than 10 or equal to 10, it means all the independent variables which have included in your study should be included. Okay, in your study. It means अगर f greater than 10 होगा, it means all the independent variables which you have included is fitted or model is best fitted. Clear?
Yes.
Clear? What are the three things? What are the three things? R square. कितना होना चाहिए?
Adjusted R square and F status.
Greater than 0.60, then F value is greater than 10. This is the first parameter while checking model is fit or model is not fit. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So the second part is called how to analyze your output. Please remember, there are two types of beta. One is called standardized beta. One is called non-standardized beta. Okay? Now suppose I have taken, this is intercept, this is let it be advertisement, this is price of X, price of Y, promotional expenses, brand value, and another is called, what is the next one? The number of retailers. Clear? What is anybody who can explain what is standardized beta and what is unstandardized beta? Anybody? Hello? Just participate.
Standardized will not be depending on the scale. You can compare.
Standardized beta means if all the independent variables have the same scale or same measurement, then I can use standardized beta where intercept is absent, and these are called the standard value. This beta value is called standard deviation. Clear? Clear?
Yes.
But if the measure of if the variables have different scale, some are numbers, some are rupees, some are value, then I can go for unstandardized beta where intercept value should be exist, and this beta value is called the mean value. Clear?
So in case we have these dummy variables included in our model, then we have used unstandardized beta.
Unstandardized beta. Because simply there are two rules. Basic rule is prepare. If all the measurements at the same scale, okay, please use standardized beta. When beta is called standard deviation and there is no intercept exist in this model. Clear?
Yes, sir. Yes.
If the measurements are in different scale, then we use unstandardized beta where there should be intercept and these are called the mean value. Clear?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Now, for example, if this is your advertisement, if you get 0.76, this is called 1.76. This is called standardized beta. It's called unstandardized beta. How can you explain? Anybody? This is the sales. How can I explain? Anybody?
Provide the intercept of 1.
No, I want to explain only one single variable. Okay, this is this is intercept. This will be offset. This will be let me 200. Anybody can explain? Here the model will be y is equal to 0.72 beta 1. Here the model will be 200 plus 1.76 beta 1. So anybody can explain this model? Just participate.
The changes in means.
One changes of value of advertisement will increase 0.72 deviation standard deviation of sales. Clear? If you spend 1 rupee on advertisement, then 0.72 standard deviation of unit of sales will be increased. Whatever this, 1 unit of 1 lakh rupees on advertisement, a little bit larger, then on an average 1.76 times of increase in the advertisement cost. Clear? This is on an average. This is called standard deviation. Any doubt? Now, hello. Second step हम क्या कर रहे हैं? Model को estimate कर रहे हैं. Model को we are estimating. What are the different estimator? One is called, please, anybody? One is called standardized beta. Another is called
Standard beta.
non-standardized beta. These are called standard deviation. These are called the mean value. Is it clear now? Now, the question is, we got all the mean value. Now, the question is, how will you interpret? Suppose I have taken advertisement, price of X, price of Y, promotion, and let me number of retailers and brand value. I got minus 2.36, 1.46, 3.45, 2.36, minus 2.45, and 3.68. This is the result. Okay. Now, how can you interpret? Anybody? On standard beta. This is called C. This is called 2000. It means in everything with 0, your sales will be 2000. It is a past impact. Clear? Hello.
Yes,
now,
sir.
When you analyze the report, please remember the two things. First, write down what is your strength and what is your weakness. Advertisement. आपका क्या एग्जाम्पशन क्या लिया था? पॉजिटिव नेगेटिव?
Positive.
यहाँ पर क्या वैल्यू आ रहा है आपका?
नेगेटिव आ रहा है सर.
Advertisement is your weakness. It means if you're spending 1 lakh rupees advertisement, sell declared at 2.36 on average, that is weakness. Clear? Hello. The price of X, whole price, is positive impact. Advertisement is strength or weakness?
Strength, sir.
It means increase your price, there will be positive impact on sales. So it means your price is a positive impact. Clear? Strength is there. Hello.
Yes, sir.
What about price of Y? If they will increase the price, your sales will increase. Again, it is strength. Clear? What is promotion? Strength. What is number of retailers? Weakness. Because if you increase the retailers, your sales will declining 2.45 times on increase in number of retailers. And what about brand value? Positive. So now we concluded that there are 4 positive impact on the sales and there are 2 negative impact on the sales. Clear? And most important is your brand value. Is number 1 impact. Second one is promotion. Sorry, second is price of oil, promotion, and clear? And most important is called a number of retailers and advertisement. Any doubt?
No, sir.
Hello? Now the question is, how can you say that your result is significant? आपने जो बीटा वैल्यू निकाल दिया, ये significant है और नहीं है? We have collected, this is a population. We have collected a sample of this and we have estimated the result of this sample. Clear? Hello? You clear now? This is, let me, population. I have taken one sample and I have to apply regression. I got some beta value. Clear? The question is whether this beta value is significantly representative of the population. जो beta value निकाल रहे हैं, whether it is significantly representative. For that case, there is another value is called T. क्या बोलते हैं उसको? T test. Please remember, if T is greater than 2, T is greater than equal to, it means beta is vacant. It means whatever we got this result from sample, that can be generalized on population. Clear? Irrespective of the sign.
Yes, sir.
Whether it's minus or plus, doesn't matter. T value should be greater than equal to 2. Clear? If T is less than means,
Yes, sir.
that value is significant value in a sample, but it cannot be generalized. Any doubt up to this?
No, sir.
Hello? Now, let me explain again. What are the 5 things? First, you calculate R square. What next?
R square. Adjusted R square. Adjusted R square.
Adjusted R square. Third,
F value. F value.
then beta value,
Standard.
standardized beta,
Standard.
non-standardized beta, then T. This is for model estimation. This is for model estimation. Then for model estimation, we require 2 things. First, we will find out the strength and weakness. The best of the strength, develop strategy. Best weakness, develop strategy. Then we'll check whether it's significant or not. That can be checked through T value. Clear?
Yes.
If a basic pattern, then I will do one estimation, then we go for another part, that is blue property. Any doubt up to this?
No, sir.
Okay. For example, I will go for one example. Is it visible to all of you? My spaces window is visible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Okay, what is the variable I have taken?
Sale rights.
Management, proposed expenses, number of distribution channel, compensation, price, quality, ad value, calculated cost, and research, and R&D cost. Is it clear?
Yeah.
First of all, tell me, is it cross-section data or time series data?
No, sir.
It is the data is based on the variable only, and of different individuals, okay, or different units, clear? Where the different units and different variable, इसको बोलते हैं n, जिसे बोलते हैं x1, x2, x3, x4, x1 to xn of different n is called cross section. Clear? Now we go to the analyze. It is called regression. That is called
Linear.
there is different model is there. We go for linear. What is the dependent variable?
Sales.
Sales.
What is the independent variable?
Advertisement.
Advertisement, promotion, all are there.
First of all.
I use all the things.
Independent.
Go to statistics. Okay, सिंपल है वो अभी इसको नहीं पढ़ाया मैंने कोलिनेटेड रॉबिन मोशन नहीं पढ़ाया पढ़ाऊंगा पहले जनरल मॉडल बता रहा हूँ मॉडल फिट चेक कर रहा हूँ ठीक है एस्टिमेट्स एंड फिट भी पढ़ाया मैंने आपको अभी एनी डाउट
No, sir.
No, sir.
कंटिन्यू एंड आई से ओके ओके व्हाट इज आर स्क्वायर हियर
725. 5 to 6.
What does it mean? It means 52.6% variation explained by the independent variable into dependent variable. It is good or bad? कितना होना चाहिए था 60% होना चाहिए था we measure 0.60 होना चाहिए था कितना आया यहाँ पर 52.6 so it means model is not so good okay whatever additional square if you introduce a new additional variable the model can explain up to maximum of 50.9% variance clear
Yes, sir.
now go to the f value what is the f value here greater than 10
29. Greater than 10.
if the model is significant it means the independent variable which is your chosen it can be fitted into the model clear
Yes,
Next.
yes, sir.
now see there are two beta one is called standardized beta and is called
Standardized.
these values are called standard deviation clear you can instantly देखते हैं
No, no. No, sir.
what यहाँ पर इंटरसेप्ट आ रहा है clear
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
first check that whether whether the beta value is significant or not. What is the T value? Advertisement significant?
Yes, sir.
Response is significant? Issue channel significant? For
Not
compensation,
significant.
price and campaigning are not significant. It means
Not significant.
they are significant one is start pull or cannot be general. Any doubt?
No, sir.
Just assume that all are significant. Just assume that. How can you interpret? See that all T is greater than 2. How can you interpret? Anybody? What is the positive impact? Highest positive impact?
Sir, but
Brand value.
So it means the first positive impact strength is your brand value, followed by quality, then R&D expenses. So it means the company should give more importance on the brand value because you spend 1 lakh rupees on advertisement on an average, then 5,721 times sales will increase. Clear? Which is the weakness of that company? Anybody? What is the weakness? Advertisement, issue channel, and
number of
it means if you increase 1 units on the distributor channels, then sales on an average decline 163 times of increase in the और एक बढ़ाओगे 163 सेल्स डिक्लाइन हो रहा है, 2 बढ़ाओगे 2 times of the sales will decline. Clear? So what strategy to improve? It means you ask the advertising manager to re-campaigning or to re-evaluate the advertisement. Now also ask the distribution manager to check well what is the problem in distribution channel. Whereas at the same time you give more emphasis on the brand value and quality. Is it clear now?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Do you think that is a good model? Yes or no?
Not good.
No, because we were interested all T values are greater than 2. All greater than 2. So what will do that? अब क्वेश्चन कैसे करोगे सर? बोलो इतना मेहनत करके डाटा कलेक्ट किया, अभी नाउ टी में सिग्निफिकेंट नहीं, 2-3 वेरिएबल नहीं आ रहा, तो मुझे क्या करना है? There is a problem of some property. Maybe there is a multi-quality problem. There may be some autocorrelation problem, or there may be some heterogeneity. I will explain after this. First, go to the analyze, regression. It is called linear. Clear?
Yes.
It is called method. Have you seen method is there?
Yes, sir.
Click. There is called stepwise. क्या लिखा गया यहाँ पर?
Stepwise.
If it was stepwise, then what is the objective? The best model that can be will be explained here, and you will now see if you say okay. How many model is developed? How many model is generated? Anybody?
6 models. 6 models.
What is the best model? We have seen that the model which is the highest R square is called the best model. Which is the highest R square?
Number 1.
6 models.
The number. It means out of 6 models is taken in the permutation combination. We have found that the model number 6 is the best model because it has got the highest R square and highest R square. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Now the model number 6 also, F value is also significant, greater than 10. It means all the independent variables is explained by the model. Now come to the number chart. What happened? The model number 6. See, all is greater than 2 now.
Yes, sir.
It is for the sign. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Initially, how many variables you have taken? You have taken how many variables?
8 models.
There are 6 models. How many variables you have taken? 8 variables. Now see, only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 variables are significant impact on the sales. Is it clear? And what is the most important significant impact?
Yes, sir.
Brand value. Followed by?
Quality.
Quality.
Quality. Second one. Third is called
Promotional expenses.
R&D expenses. Here the strength. What is the weakness?
Advertisement. Price.
Advertisement and number of distributors.
And significant. So what is the strategy can be formulated? Anybody? What strategy can be formulated?
Recampaign. Advertisement.
You have to remove the
It means you have to improve the advertisement. It means you check the advertisement strategy, and also you have to find out which digital channel is not performing well. You can remove that. Clear? Now the question arises: is it visible to all of you now?
Yes, sir.
Now see, there are another part is called. Suppose this is y. This is x1. this is x2. What happened? There are between x1 and x2, some are also intercorrelated, right or not?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So it means x1 का जो वेरिएबल y में भी मेजरमेंट कर रहा है, x2 को सेम वेरिएबल जो x1 में लिए तो वो भी मेजरमेंट कर रहा है. So अगर ये दोनों रहेगा तो क्या r स्क्वायर बहुत कम हो जाएगा, मॉडल फिटनेस बहुत कम हो जाएगा. क्लियर? इसको बोलते हैं मल्टी कोऑर्डिनेट. क्या बोलते हैं?
Multi coordinate.
We should expected this is y, this is x1, this is x2, this is x3. It means the x1, x2, x3 you calculated. Okay, correlation value. This should be identity matrix. Clear? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You should expect that there should not be any relationship between x1 to x2 or x2 to x3. Clear? Then only this is. Do you find any multi-coordinate problem is there? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Do you find any multi-coordinate?
No, sir. No, sir.
क्योंकि x3 का जो भी वेरिएशन था x2 में नहीं आ रहा है, x1 का वेरिएशन था x2 में नहीं आ रहा है. But do you find this is multi-coordinate? Yes or no? x1,
No, sir. इसमें हो रहा है,
x2, x3. What happened? So when is how can you say that it is multi-coordinate? कि डाटा में अगर multi-coordinate रहेगा तो मॉडल एफिशिएंट होगा या नॉट एफिशिएंट होगा? Anybody?
not efficient. Not efficient.
Not efficient.
Okay, first check the correlation. You check the correlation y, x1, x2, and x3, x1, x2, x3. If you find that there is a high correlation, it means the correlation value is greater than 0.6 between x1 to x2, x1 to x3, or x3 to x1, then it means there is a multi-coordinate problem. Clear?
Yes.
Number one, it means high correlation among independent variable. Second is if R square is higher and insignificant T ratio. क्या बोला मैंने? R square आ रहा है 0.95 and all T are less than 2. Then there is some problem. Clear? मतलब क्या हुआ? This is Y, this is X1, this is X2, this is X3. Means R square तो high होगा because सारा value हो रहा है ना नहीं? But x1, x2, x3 में significant नहीं हो रहा है because it is less than. So what is second? What is the reason? E high R square. क्या बोला मैंने?
If higher.
And insignificant T value is called as multi-coordinate problem, or there may be high correlation between two independent variable, or if it is greater than 0.60. Then there is a multi-coordinate problem. If there is a multi-coordinate problem, then the regression model is not the best estimated model. So now there are three ways to check the model is good or bad. One is called multi-coordinatality, another is called autocorrelation, another is called homoscedasticity. Okay, the first one. What is the first one?
Multi-coordinate.
What is autocorrelation? Anybody? Anyone can talk about autocorrelation?
So correlation between the
More than 2 error terms.
Error, very good.
error
Means
terms.
ut upon ut minus 1. Okay? If there is a correlated, then there is called autocorrelation. So we expect there should be autocorrelation. To check this thing, there is a multi-coordinate हम लोग करते हैं BIF method, then tolerance, and another is called conditional index. कितना points है? क्या बोला मैंने? BIF, tolerance and conditional index. And autocorrelation के लिए हम देखते हैं Darwin-Watson. और भी एक Newman's method से, or you go for Darwin-Watson. And homoscedasticity will check through the spread. Okay, with the predicted value and actual value में spread देखते हैं. There should be some. And ये जो part होगा, मैं time series में पढ़ाऊंगा. जो कल पढ़ाऊंगा time series में, it is based on homoscedasticity. Clear? आज जो दो पढ़ा रहा हूँ, multi-coordinate and autocorrelation. Any doubt?
No, sir.
Because time series modeling में, we will generally find homoscedasticity. Now what is BI? If the BI yeah.
Yes, sir. Please tell about the homoscedasticity.
मैं इसको बताऊंगा अभी, but इसे details class हम time series में पढ़ेंगे. Clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
इसके बाद मैं पेपर में हो जाने के बाद then I will go through the PPT. Now see what is the BIF? VIF means variance inflected factor. Remember, if the value is less than 3, क्या बोला हमने? Value is less than 3, there is no multipolarity. If it is greater than 10, there is a high multipolarity. Is it clear? If the VIF value, let's explain. Already I got all value. Is it clear now? Is it collinear or not collinear? You know collinear? It is low collinearity. It is moderate. It is high. It is very high. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I already explained how to detect high R square. Use significant ratio required in PPT.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Please.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, second one is for high R square and use significant ratio. Second, high pairwise correlation. Third, high partial correlation. And fourth is called if the F value of regression is lower. So to check this, there are three things. First is called, what is the first one? First one? VIM. VIM means variance inflation factor. Okay. If the value is greater than 10, then there is a serious multipolarity problem. The model is not fitted and cannot be generalized. Clear? हेलो कोई रिसर्व आ रहा है?
Yes, sir.
Okay, tolerance means, and again, hello.
Your voice is equal.
मैंने कोई भी एक दो इंस्ट्रूमेंट ओपन किया है, मोबाइल और लैपटॉप, so that it is displaying हो रहा है. So I request to that, please use only one and unmute yourself. Mute yourself. Hello.
Yes, sir. Continue.
Okay, now what is the first one? VIF is greater than 10, the multipolarity problem. And if VIF is less than 3, there is no multipolarity problem. If now tell me, you think that there should be always multipolarity in the dependent variable? Yes or no? In cross-section data, you always find multipolarity. Okay? Cannot avoid
Voice is
that.
not coming clear.
Hello?
Voice is not clear, sir.
Sir, possibly should mute themselves. Dr. Srivani is actually.
Yeah, it's some problem with it.
What happened? Hello?
Now it's clear, sir.
Can I proceed now?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir. Yes, sir.
Now there are three things. First, to check the multipolarity, our पास तीन methods है. One is called multipolarity through VIF method, one tolerance method, one conditional index number. So generally you are using, please remember, you always find multipolarity in cross-section data. Agree or not agree? For example, income and expenditure, there will be multipolarity. Okay, cannot avoid multipolarity, but yes, to be good model, your VIF should be less than 3. If it is greater than 10, then please improve your model. The question is how you can improve model? अगर आप x1 अगर आपका multipolarity problem आ रहा है तो क्या करोगे? What can you do now? Anybody? First, you check the 3 1. Number 1 is if the tolerance is 0.0 less than 0.10, there is no multipolarity. If VIF is less than 3, no multipolarity. It should not be exceed 10, and the conditional index number should be between 10 to 30. It should not be higher than 30. Clear? Hello?
Yes, sir. It's clear.
Okay, sir. Clear, sir.
Clear? Okay. Now, if suppose you got a multipolarity, what can you do? आपने पूरा मेहनत किया, डाटा कलेक्ट किया, and you found there is a multipolarity problem arises in your model. What can you do now? Multipolarity means there is some variable which is interrelated among it. There is some independent variable have been highly correlated. What can you do now? There are two ways. First, remove that one independent variable which is multipolarity to other variable. Or second, go for interaction between two. For example, x1 and x2 are having multipolarity problem. What you will do? Calculate x1 into x2 and you estimate. Means interaction effect. Go for interaction effect or remove one x1 or remove all X2, and third one is go for more data now. Go for more sample data. Clear?
So what is interaction effect?
For example, X1 is one variable, X2 is another variable. Okay? And when you calculate the correlation, you found there is a high correlation between X1 and X2. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Now, to remove that, because you don't want to remove that either X1 or X2, so there is a method called interaction effect. You calculate X1 and X2 score, okay, and you apply the regression on X1, X2 score instead of X1 or X2. Clear?
Okay, sir.
Means jointly they are jointly how much the impact of the yeah.
But sir, do we need to justify this by theory or
You have to justify. Listen, you have to justify the theory. If any one of the researchers have used this concept when there is a multiplicative problem, okay, and if the same problem will exist, इसको बोलते हैं हम लोग convergent validity. It means that your result is also valid to the other result. Then you can do that. Otherwise, you just go for three things: remove one variable, go for more data, or go for interaction. Clear?
Sir, can you please repeat the interaction, sir?
Suppose, let me explain. Okay. This is X1. Okay. Hello. This is X2.
Yes, sir.
This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Do you find there is a correlation between these two? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
X2 is equal to 2 of X1.
Yes, sir.
So there is a collinearity, high collinear.
Yes.
So to do that, you calculate X1 into X2. Clear?
Okay, sir.
And now you use this variable in your model. Okay? Now your Y is equal to beta 0 plus beta 1 X1 X2. Clear?
Yes.
Any doubt?
No, sir. Clear.
Okay. Now if let's start. Then another is called, I've already explained about this. I want to okay. Already explained. What is autocorrelation? Autocorrelation means there is systematic pattern in the error term, which means do you think the error should be correlated, yes or no? होना चाहिए ना नहीं होना चाहिए?
No, sir.
Error should not be correlated. So it means UI and UJ should not be correlated. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So but there may be two things. Either they will be positive autocorrelated. Okay. It means this autocorrelation covariance between UI and UJ should be equal to 0. Clear? But sometimes you got two things, whether they positive autocorrelated, okay, and are negative autocorrelated. What is positive? Now see, this is called positive autocorrelation. Clear? There is a trend. Clear? There is no autocorrelation, there is no trend. Random is there. And there is a negative autocorrelation. Each trend is there, then again. Okay. Now see, the autocorrelation value lies between 0 to 4. Let me explain. That there are two methods, three methods. One is called run test, Darwin-Watson test, and Bruce-Gottfried-LM test. But generally, you are using these tests. Which test? It means the ratio of the sum of the square difference in successful residual to the residual sum of the square. Now, this is the method I will return on. See, if the Darwin-Watson equal to 2, there is no autocorrelation. Clear? If Darwin-Watson is less than 2, there is a positive autocorrelation. And if Darwin greater than 2 is a negative autocorrelation. Just write down what are three things. If DW is equal to 2 or approaches 2, there will be no autocorrelation and means model is good, model is specified. If it is less than 2, then it is called positive autocorrelation. There is a trend. There is a trend. And if it is greater than 2, okay, there is a no trend, but intercept is there. Clear? So what is expected? Expected Darwin-Watson value should be equal to. Okay. Now let me explain about okay. Number 1. What is the first one? Identify the problem. Clear? You just find out dependent variable. You find out
This trend is in the cross section or time series you're talking about?
that is in trend in the we have a trend autocorrelation or integer autocorrelation time series. But here we will see that There is no trend, means there is no relation between UI and UJ. Okay? But the random error should not be not correlated with the past trend. Now see, what is the first step? Let me